it's Anna, and today's full moon pick a card reading is going to be about what does your inner child need, because that's what Aries makes me think of, is your inner child. And I had some emotions surface about a week ago that was pointing me to my inner child work, so I thought this would be a good reading for you all. So we're going to use Rider-Waite Tarot as usual, not the exact cards that came in this box, but I don't have the box for the other ones. Angels, and we're going to do some past life, actually just one past life card for each pile. So as I make these piles, you can relax and think about which one you might want. And we're also going to do some charms for each pile as well. All right. I'm just going to do 2 tarot cards today. I've been doing 3 before, but I'm feeling 5 cards for each pile instead of 6 for whatever reason. So we're going to go with that. What does group 1's inner child need? Okay. What does group 2's inner child need? And what does group 3's inner child need? Right. And let's see what the angels have as advice for each group. What's the advice for group 1, angels? Take 2 of those. What's the advice for group 2? And what's the advice for group 3, angels? Okay. And let's get a past life card for each group. Give us some more information. So for group 1, what is some past life information that connects to their inner child. Okay. Group 2, what is some past life information that connects to their inner child? And group 3, what is some past life information about their inner child? Okay. So you might have picked already, but I also have some stones to put on there. So this is a gold stone, which when I Googled it to make sure that's what it was today, I found out it's actually glass. This is honey calcite for group 2, and this is a strawberry quartz for group 3. Okay, so what does your inner child need? And how can this full moon help us with that? I was just out there looking at it. It's a beautiful, beautiful Aries full moon. So pick the pile that you think is for you. And for each pile, I am just going to say what comes to me with whatever we see on the cards and the charms. And so there might be, some things might be meaningful for some and not for others. So use your own judgment to decide what is most meaningful for you. And I hope that you are able to get something valuable out of this. And I'm just so grateful to get to share something that I love to do with you all. Okay? So we're going to start with pile 1. Put these other 2 aside. Okay, so let's see my group that picked the gold stone. So sparkly and wonderful in this light, especially. For my group that picked the gold stone, let's see what your cards have to say. So I'm going to start with your tarot cards. We have the Lovers in reverse and the 5 of Wands. Okay. And let's see what the angels have to say as far as their advice about what your inner child needs. Release and surrender in reverse. And then we have trustworthy guidance also in reverse. Okay, and let's see what your past life says. I'm going to read these past life ones all upright. So trust and faith. Yes, trust and faith. I think that might be really the main message for you based on what I'm seeing. Trust and faith. And this is representing a connection to a past life potentially. So you might have had a past life where you were able to really do this and have faith, and maybe so far in this life it's difficult, and it is what your excuse me, what your inner child needs from you, to have trust and faith that you're on the right path, that things are going to work out, because I see definitely some conflict. The Lovers in reverse, that could be a relationship gone wrong recently, or maybe a lot of relationships have gone wrong, and your inner child is wanting you to know that, at least in part, it's because of maybe a lack of trust and faith, because we have trustworthy guidance in reverse, which is all about trusting the guidance that you have available to you. And maybe you just haven't realized that you do have that guidance available to you, or maybe you have sensed it and you just haven't been willing to trust it or willing to believe in it. So, and release and surrender in reverse as well. I think you could be holding on pretty tightly to something or to some aspect of life that the angels are saying it needs to be released, and you need to surrender to more trust and faith sorts of things. So let's see what your charms have to say, and maybe they can give us some more information about what your inner child needs, even though we already got a pretty clear message from the cards. So let's see if they will just add on to it. So for group 1, what can you tell us about what their inner child needs? Okay. So we have the spider. And spiders can represent a lot of things. To me, I feel like a spider might be representative of your shadow self. So I think your inner child might need you to acknowledge your shadow self. Maybe this is why you haven't been able to have the level of faith that your inner child is wanting you to have. But so we have that. And that's funny, you picked the goldstone and you got my goldstone pendant. So, and when I think of goldstone, even though when I looked it up earlier, it said it relates to the crown and heart chakras, when I see it though, it's very orange. So it makes me think of sacral chakra, which is all about creativity. And we have this upside down teapot right next to it. So I wonder if maybe your creativity has sort of been flowing in the wrong direction because of maybe your lack of faith. Maybe there's something different that you want to be doing than what you are doing, and your inner child is pointing to the fact that you can do what you would want to do, and maybe what you dream of doing with this key here. You definitely are capable of achieving, you know, this sort of royal status. That's what that key with the crown makes me think of. And it also has red and pink stones on it. So all these just warm colors. I think and I think this is true for all of us, but especially I think your inner child is trying to tell you that it loves you very much, and that it has a lot of love inside, and it just wants to let that pour out and not let this shadow self of maybe not being able to believe get in the way of that. An upside down car. So maybe travel hasn't been going very well, or things have been going wrong with your car. I had a car mishap this week around the full moon. 5 is all about living in the moment and experiencing things to the fullest. So I wonder if that's also part of, it can be a self-preservational thing to do, to escape the present into the past and future when things in the present aren't what you want. So this is just reminding you to stay in the present moment as much as possible and connect to how you feel and connect to what is there to support you. You have another key. So really, you are capable of a lot, and I feel like you're blocked right now. And we have the windmill. We've got some green and blue. You really have a lot of colors represented here. Snowflake, so winter. Maybe you, well, actually, with the spider, this makes me feel almost cold. So I wonder if your shadow self isn't very nice, maybe. And, you know, that's not anything against you. I have some experience with a shadow self like that. So maybe your shadow self tends to be cold to people and maybe keep you sort of isolated. And definitely you have colors that are emphasizing warmth. So I think connect to that. And we have this owl. So I think you're very smart. I think you're very wise and you have a lot of knowledge, and maybe that is why you don't necessarily have faith all the time, because a lot of very logical minded people can sometimes go down a road of thinking it's not logical to have faith in anything that they can't directly see, but I think I've come to the conclusion, at least, that just there is something more. You know, I feel it. I've seen so many signs that just can't be coincidences. So I think it would be smart for you to connect more to some sort of faith and find something that you can trust and believe in. And we have this bird upside down here. It's not a flying bird, he's sort of perched, but I always think of freedom when I think of this. So, and since it was upside down, I'm thinking maybe you have felt stuck, which would make sense if you're sort of blocked by this shadow self that can be cold and doesn't believe or doesn't want you to believe. But big open heart and windmill, I think of, especially since we're in Libra, which is an air sign, I think of just following the wind and going where life takes you. I feel like that would be hard for you to trust enough to go with the wind and go where life blows you. But I think maybe that's what your inner child is telling you to do. And I think you are very loving. It just doesn't always get to come out because you have some blocks. But look at that beautiful open heart. And I want to also say, since we had the Lovers in reverse, maybe you feel like you just haven't gotten the love that you deserve, or you haven't been loved in the way that you deserve, and that's maybe also why you can tend to be cold to people. You can tend to be not believing that something like this is ever going to happen for you, but it absolutely can happen to anyone who is willing to open their heart. So you can have this pure love for yourself and with someone else. I really believe that. You have just so much warmth here, and so much. I think you have creativity that is wanting to come out, and you have a huge heart that it just doesn't maybe always get expressed, because also 5 of Wands, you've been through a lot. All of these guys they're in conflict with their wands. So I think you're very passionate. That's what the wands usually suggest to me, is fire and passion. So you're very passionate, and you've been through a lot with that. It hasn't always been maybe accepted by other people. You've been in conflicts, and it hasn't been easy. And without love, I mean, it's hard. I know that. So release and surrender, really. What else? And I think sometimes when you're really smart and wise, which I think you are, it can be hard to release and surrender and just sort of believe that things are going to work out. And, you know, it's not necessarily that things will just magically work out. It's that you trust that you've learned enough to make the right decisions in the moment, and that things are going to be taken care of in the end. You have guidance, you have the universe looking out for you, trustworthy guidance. There are tools available to you that if you can connect to a belief and connect to maybe more that you're capable of, if you're stuck somewhere right now where you're not able to be as creative as you would like to be, you can connect more to that, and maybe this would start to flow better. But definitely trust and faith, it all comes back to. And I know that some of you are probably thinking, yeah, you know, that sounds great, that's easy to say, but how do I do it? And I feel you. I ask myself that sometimes as well. It's hard to always have faith. It's hard to let go of control, but you can't control everything, right? You're just gonna have to have some faith. And I do see things working out positively for you, especially with this heart right here that I just wanted to come back to. If you don't have love in your life right now and that's something that you're wanting, I think that absolutely it is coming your way. And if you make sure that you're loving yourself first, then it's going to flow in a lot more easily. If you're able to surrender to love, surrender to some things that you believe in so that you can be free and not stuck, then I think things are going to turn around for you, and that your heart will feel better, your creative center will feel better, everything will feel better. So I hope that was a good message, and I believe in you. Stay strong, Group 1. You can do this. And your inner child loves you and just wants some love in return, and for you to develop some more trust and faith. Right? Okay, thank you, Group 1. And I wish you luck with that, and I hope that things go well with your inner child and with this full moon. Okay. So, Group 2. Group 2 over here with the honey calcite. So let's see what your tarot cards have to say. 10 of Pentacles. 3 of Swords. Let's see what the angel advice for you is. Fresh air. Change in direction. And for your past life card, we got Mother. Okay, interesting. So with these first two tarot cards, right away I was feeling like things have been going well for you in terms of maybe wealth and material things, feeling safe, things like that. And maybe you have a good community around you. But there's definitely been a heartbreak, either recently or in the past. And sometimes I feel like with that Three of Swords that it points to, I know that everyone is always, it definitely means heartbreak, but sometimes I feel like it means multiple heartbreaks. Like I feel like this is a state of your heart has been broken over and over, and you just want the cycle to stop. So I think while in some aspects things have been going well for you, and maybe on the surface to other people things always look like they're going really well for you, inside you've definitely struggled. And the angels are saying fresh air and change in direction. So there's something that needs to change. I think that's what your inner child is needing. Your inner child needs a change in direction in some area, and I don't feel like it's with your job, because I think things like that might be going well. I think it's on a personal level in terms of relationships in some way, or it could even be friendships, people in general. Maybe you need a new friend group. Maybe you need to just change something with the people around you, or with the way that you are making friends, with the way that you're connecting. Change in direction, and maybe getting outside is something that's going to help you with that. Maybe taking some nice walks or doing more outside could help you with that. You know, maybe you have like an office job and you're cooped up inside all day, and then you go home and you're still inside. Get outside. I know that it's hard. I know that when I get home, I'm tired. I just want to almost take a nap. I just want to relax. But if you can get into the habit, it's easier for me to do actually when we're in fall or spring, because it's just so pretty outside. So if you can find something that motivates you to get outside and take walks, I think that would help you clear your head and maybe figure out exactly what this change in direction needs to be, or how to go about it. And because I think, look at the child is up in the air, and this looks like a stork maybe has a map that he's showing her, pointing out maybe where to go. So it being up in the clouds, I think it is up in your headspace somewhere. It just might have not come forward yet. And mother, this is interesting. So this could mean that in a past life you were a mother, or perhaps you had some issues with your mother. And sometimes I feel like past life could be an earlier part of this life. You know, sometimes we think of things that happened when we were little as almost being in a past life because it's been so long, or it feels like it's been so long. So maybe either you, in some way, I was going to say either you had maybe too strong of a bond, if that's possible, with your mother, or you had a lot of issues with your mother. Either way, your mother in some way, or the fact that you were a mother in a past life, is having an effect on your relationships and is part of the reason that you encounter these heartbreaks. Okay, so let's look at your charms and see if we can get some more information about this. So for group 2 charms, what can you tell us about what their inner child needs besides a change in direction, and that it might have something to do with the mother? Okay. I definitely see communication with some blue beads and buttons. Look, you got the ladybug. Oh, you guys, I had a ladybug land on me this summer, and I looked up, what that might mean in terms of spirit animals and things like that, and it said that a ladybug brings good luck in love. That is such great news for you after this. After all these heartbreaks or one major heartbreak, whatever that card might be indicating, you got the ladybug. I think things are going to turn around in terms of your love life. And what do we have by it? We have a dragonfly. And, oh gosh, I'm blanking right now on what dragonflies symbolize. I want to say that it's hope, but I'm not sure. I was thinking of hope too because we have this flower right here, which that's what flowers mean to me, is hope, and it's a big open flower. So I feel like even though this has happened to you, you do have a lot of hope for the future, and you should, because luck in love, that's a great sign. Choose joy. Okay, we have some cigarettes and the sun, some fire over there. Okay, we have a very, I don't think it's hematite. I think it's like, I want to say it's like magnetite. Is that a thing? It's some, definitely a root chakra stone regardless. Ooh, message in a bottle. Okay. On top of the bird, which is upside down. This happened to group 1 as well. The bird makes me think of freedom, but when it lands upside down, it feels like maybe you're stuck in some way and you don't feel fully free. Maybe because of some things that you've been through. Maybe you've been divorced. That just came into my mind for some of you. Maybe you've been divorced and you feel like dating is just not going to be the same, and you're kind of stuck and you don't feel as free in terms of dating as you used to. But message in a bottle was right on top of the bird. So I think you have maybe a message coming to you from someone that is going to make you feel better about that, or is going to make you feel more free. So be on the lookout for sometimes even strangers. If you think it's weird if a stranger starts talking to you, still listen to, well, use your judgment, If you get a bad vibe, don't, engage in that. But if a nice friendly stranger starts talking to you, like sometimes they do, at the store or at a coffee shop or wherever you might run into them, maybe they have something important to say that's going to help you on your journey. And we have sodalite here as well. So maybe they're going to also say something that's going to help your intuition. With the sodalite right by this grounding stone, I do feel like your intuition might need regrounding. Maybe you haven't been able to follow your intuition as well as you would like to. And we have happy holidays here with an apple on it. That was one of my Applebee's pins from when I worked there in college. So happy holidays. I think the holidays are going to be significant because we have the snowflake as well. So I think you're going to realize something by the holidays or over the holidays that is going to help. So I think your inner child is pointing to, and we had choose joy as well. So maybe you really like the holidays, you're looking forward to them, and your inner child is just emphasizing, yeah, make sure to enjoy them. Good things are coming. Or maybe you don't like the holidays. Maybe you don't have a good relationship with your mother or whatever that might be. So choose joy instead over the holidays. Do what you want to do, what makes you happy. Snoopy golfing always reminds me of relaxation. So taking time to relax and do whatever you want to do in your heart. And teapot, pouring some love. The teapot was behind the snowflake. Do you love winter? Pouring some love on winter, or do you not like winter and you need to find some things to love about it? And we also have, this is Mickey in his sorcerer hat from a Disney charm bracelet I had. And this makes me think of the Magician tarot card. So And the dragonfly, like, I think you're magical. So your inner child's wanting to remind you that you are magical. And I think if you go outside, get some fresh air, you'll probably feel more magical and feel like you're capable of doing this change in direction. And I also feel like you know you're magical in some ways. Anyone who is able to achieve this is magical, has maybe even some great manifestation powers, and I think you can apply that to the realm of love and your personal life too. And the cigarettes, maybe you smoke, or maybe it's a representation of, because we did have it by the sun, so it definitely, maybe you're a fire sign, and these are both pointing to you being a fire sign, you being very passionate. But maybe you smoke, or maybe you just indulge in some sort of guilty pleasure. But I think if you do, try not to feel guilty about it. You know, I find that if I am indulging in something, I'm less likely to do it often if I make sure that I'm fully enjoying it when I do it, and I'm not feeling guilty. Trying to distract my noisy cat. Sorry if you could hear her. So I think this I don't really feel like I've gotten more information about this mother card except for holidays. So I'm just going to say, for whoever might need to hear it, you know, if you have a not so good relationship with your mother, either your inner child wants you to know that the holidays might be a good time to try to work that out. Because with these communication, like these blue bead and buttons, maybe it's a good time to try to communicate that with her. If you think that would be helpful, you know, use your best judgment on that. If you don't see that being helpful, then I also see it could also be saying that maybe don't spend time with your mother then this holiday season. Choose joy and relax and do what you would prefer to do instead. But I do think whatever this is part of this problem. This is what your inner child wants you to know. And in order to resolve that, I feel like you just need some new love in your life or something. Or you need to be doing what you want to do more often. And then the people who are interested in the same things are going to gravitate toward you. Ground your intuition. Yeah, just don't let anybody get in the way, you know, of your intuition and what you feel is best for yourself to be free. Mother. So if the toxic relationship thing with your mother hasn't been resonating with you, maybe if you were a mother in a past life, then your inner child, I think, is just reminding you to focus on being a good mother in this life also. And if you are not wanting to be a mother in this life, that's okay. You do what you want to do. Choose joy. If you want to be a mother in this life and you're not yet, then follow your intuition. Try not to indulge too much, but don't judge yourself for indulging. And go with what you're passionate about. And yeah, follow your passion. And don't lose hope. I think actually that's the main that's the main message coming through to me right now, is don't lose hope, because things can be worked out. You can have new luck in love. These burdens, whatever burdens you might have that are related to this, they don't have to be your burdens forever. Okay? Don't lose hope. You can get through this. Choose joy. All right, group 2. It looks like hopefully you're going to have a good holiday season. I know we're a little ways away from that, but I see that if you follow this, try to choose joy over the holidays, you're going to have a good holiday season. So that's nice. And hopefully you can figure out what this change in direction might need to be and work with your inner child on that. All right, thank you, group 2. Hope you have a beautiful full moon in Aries and that you get some fresh air and figure some things out, get some clarity. All right, group 3 with the strawberry quartz. Okay. Wow, that looks very strawberry by the salt lamp. Okay, let's see what your cards have to say. Group 3, 9 of Wands. I've been seeing this card like every reading I've done, even pick a cards that I've been watching on YouTube, 9 of Wands comes up. I'm like, why? This card has been following me for like a month or so. It's interesting. It must be an energy that is out there in the collective right now. So 9 of Wands, 5 of Cups in reverse. Okay. See what the angels have for advice. Play. Okay. And innocence. Oh. Okay. And let's see what your past life card is. Medicine man or woman. Oh my goodness. Wow. This makes me think of healing. I think you might have been a healer in some capacity in a past life, or you're maybe meant to be one in this life. And that's something that your inner child is trying to tell you. And you definitely have I feel like I'm feeling like when you were a child, maybe you weren't allowed to play as much as you wanted to, and that your innocence is so beautiful. I feel like when innocence comes up too, I feel like something happened to you that wasn't fair, and you were very aware that it wasn't fair. You didn't feel like it was right. And it could have been in your childhood, it could have been recently, but I am feeling like it was in your childhood. And maybe something needs to be forgiven. That's what this purple makes me think of. So I think definitely sorry about them, cats. I just throw a tennis ball in their direction and hopefully they'll stop. I'm so sorry. It's the full moon, kind of. It makes them a little bit crazy. So I see that definitely you had to have your guard up, and I think that is something that could have started in childhood. You had to have your guard up, and it has sort of echoed into your adult life. You still put your guard up with people, and your inner child needs you to start letting it down. And I know that that's a very difficult thing to do, but I think you have such a pure spirit that other people need it in a way, and you need to be able to express it, to be able to feel like you're living to your fullest, because being in this guarded state is necessary sometimes, but is no way to live, forever. So your inner child, I think, needs you to start letting it down and start playing more if possible. This Five of Cups in reverse is interesting because it's an unhappy card, but you have it in reverse. And so because he's obviously, he almost looks like he's in mourning over these 3 cups that have been knocked down, even though he does still have these 2 standing beside him. So I feel like something fell apart, that it was really hard, but you've been able to be turning that energy around and feeling maybe the presence of these 2 cups behind you that are still standing, and going along with the innocence, how it makes me feel like something happened that was not fair. Maybe that is what these 3 are. Something happened and you felt like you had lost everything, but you didn't lose everything. You still have something, and I think you're realizing that. And hopefully that's going to help you to potentially be more playful, like your inner child is telling you, and to just remember your innocence. It's true that you didn't deserve what happened. It's true that you weren't guilty in whatever this is, and you don't have to feel guilty. And sometimes people who are healers go through a lot in their life before their gifts awaken or before they're able to heal other people. And one of the reasons that they're so good at healing other people or helping other people to heal is that they have healed themselves. So I feel like your inner child is telling you that don't give up. You need to keep healing yourself, and they're there to support you through it. Okay, let's look at your charms and see if they have things to add. So for group 3, anything to add, charms about what their inner child needs. Whoa, that was a lot. Oh, wow. Okay, take charge. Oh, and pink and unicorn. You are, oh my goodness. I think you are so sweet, and you have such a great childlike energy about you, such a great presence. Calming. That's what this calm cat makes me think of, is just like a calm, because that cat almost looks like it's taking a nap. Just like a calm presence. But yeah, you've definitely had your guard up. Definitely had your guard up. Maybe relating to, I wonder how this might relate to your internet presence. Let's see, what is this? Be awesome. Oh, you are awesome. Oh, and you have 2 keys. The Capital, butterflies, so many things. The sun. You have multiple butterflies. Oh my god, you have 1, 2, 3, 4 butterflies. This is a huge transformational time for you, group 3. And I see that you're so sweet. Your heart is so big. You're so imaginative. Ooh, I wonder if you're wanting a commitment from someone, or if maybe you recently got engaged, or if this is just something you dream about having, like a connection with someone. And I feel like you're very spiritual, you're very connected to spirit, and that's probably something, because with these white, cat's white, the unicorn's white, I feel like you have guidance in the spiritual realm helping you, and you have a really good intuition about things, and I feel like you trust it. And I also feel like you know that you're awesome, but you also have a hard time, maybe forgetting that you have been through a lot in life, or you've been through maybe one particular thing that just wasn't great, and you feel like it set you back. But if you're meant to be a healer, then it actually could have helped you. And I feel like that's what your inner child is saying. Your inner child is so playful naturally. And so I feel like that's why they want you to play, because that's how they are. And they maybe want to travel. I don't know if you like to travel or if you would like to go see places, because this is a Capitol building. So they maybe want to go see new things, but they're telling you definitely that this is a high time of transformation, and that they can see that you've been working really hard. That's kind of what this coffee cup makes me think of, is you've been working really hard. Like you've been needing a lot of coffee, or maybe you don't drink coffee, but when I think of people drinking coffee, I usually think of, they need it because they have a lot to do. So you've been doing a lot, and I think you have a good sense of humor. This is Donald Duck. I accidentally called him Daffy Duck the last time I pulled him in a reading, but it's definitely Donald, and that's what he makes me think of, is humor. So I think you have a good sense of humor, and you definitely have, with these 2 keys, you definitely have the ability to unlock your potential. And this also makes me think of crown chakra. You have a lot of, so I think your inner child is saying, ooh, this too, this flowers make me think of hope. And you have the like diamond-esque crystal in the middle there. I think your inner child is saying, make sure you are connecting to spirit. They are there to help you. They're there to support you. And you might wear many hats. You might do a lot of different things. But you have a lot of confidence in what you do. You have really big dreams, and they can come true. Absolutely. You have an amazing intuition. You are like, this be awesome sums it up to me. You are awesome. You have so many gifts and so much going on here that I think you could absolutely, if this is something that you're not sure, like if you want to be some sort of healer, but you're not sure how to start, maybe doing something online would be a start, or something with travel. Maybe you're meant to travel to some other places. But I think if you follow your intuition, it's going to lead you where you need to go. And I actually feel like you already know that, group 3. You sound like, I am interested to know, so I have connected actually to each group, but I'd be very interested to know who you are, group 3, because you just seem very awesome if you're able to, let this energy shine and let this out, because this is beautiful. And it might be difficult right now. Sometimes when we're going through these transforming times, it can be difficult, but you have, so much guidance. And I think, your inner child is saying you trust that guidance, trust your intuition, and that it knows, it understands why you've been guarded, why you felt like this. It has made sense, but those guards, they need to come down. And you can maybe have them on reserve in case you need them again. But for right now, if you are able to play and maybe try to forgive what happened to you, then you could come more into your healing. And really, don't be afraid of, this says take charge with a lightning bolt. Like, don't be afraid to go after what you want, because you're capable of a lot. You're awesome. Oh my gosh. So cool. Yeah, I love this intuition marble. Gosh. So thank you for being you, group 3. Thank you for existing in this world and for just being a good presence out there. It makes me feel good to know that there are people like you out there. And if you're a healer, whew, more power to you. If you've been a healer in a past life, then try to maybe harness that to help you fully heal in this life and embrace all that you have going on, that your inner child is very connected to, very playful about, very sweet, everything. And don't work too hard, but if you're working on things that are toward your dreams and it's helping you in your journey, then I think that's okay to a point. Don't overwork, but you can accomplish a lot. All right. Well, I hope you have a beautiful Aries full moon, and I hope that it helps to ignite some of this inner child energy for you, group 3. And thank you all. I hope you have a beautiful day. Much love.